episode of Mojo and the Bro. I'm Mike.
And I'm Jameis.
Yeah, we'll be your host. This is our first episode.
Currently 12:15 in the morning. It was a really dumb idea to do it this late. But today is just going to be kind of a chill introduction of what we want this podcast to be. And, so you guys get to know us.
Right, yeah, exactly. We're both students here at Central Michigan University. Basically, we have been wanting to start this podcast since we moved in together. And we just found that the more we ended up getting to know each other, just having these weird conversations.
Just the most random conversations.
Right, and we're like, okay, we're going to have to record this somehow. And so usually it would start in the kitchen or something. Yeah. We'd cook food and then
got some mac and cheese.
Yeah, get some mac and cheese or something. And then it just morphs, I don't know, into just weird conversations, whack conversations.
Mostly about these dumb movies that I make Mike watch for no reason.
Yeah. So Jameis is really into movies, specifically romantic comedies. And I hardly have watched any until this year, in which Jameis has just made me watch, sit down and watch these.
So we gotta get some background here. This man's major is movies, and the man hasn't watched any movies. So I had to educate him a little bit on these. I mean, I've watched a lot of movies. So.
Right. Even outside the romantic comedy genre, or just comedy in general.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of obscure comedies that not a whole lot of people have heard of, but that are total hidden gems. I've made Mike watch pretty much all of them so far.
When you go to a Family Video or Blockbuster, when you go in,
who do you work for?
Blockbuster Video. Oh my gosh.
We'll randomly make quotes from movies on this show. I'll try to include what movie that we're making the quote from. That was from The Man Who Knew Too Little, starring Bill Murray.
Actually, I don't even think I've gone through the Family Video we have here, with you. I know I have with some other friends.
Yeah.
Just for nostalgia purposes. I've gone in there, not even gotten anything.
All right, I'm going to start right now. We're not watching Lawrence of Arabia.
No. Oh, no. That was so bad, dude. Oh, my gosh. It was free.
It was free, but it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, it was not worth it at all. And I think it was 3 hours long.
We watched 10 minutes.
Yeah, we're wow, this is not cutting it.
Yeah. You want to play some Modern Warfare? Yeah.
Right, yeah. You want to play some Call of Duty or something?
Yeah, that one just didn't do it. And then the first movie I've ever recommended to Mike that...
Yeah, what was the first?
No, I'm talking about the one that I recommended you today. First one that probably wasn't the best movie. I liked it when I was a kid. It's called Stuck on You with Matt Damon. We've got through about half an hour of that one.
Yeah.
And Mike wasn't liking it.
I was just I maybe laughed once. I a scene or two.
And it wasn't as comedy of a comedy as I remember it.
Right. It was definitely more dramatic than...
Yeah. It's a really good movie if you're in the mood for a dramatic...
comedy, I guess.
Yeah, dramatic comedy. It's got some humor in it, but it is definitely more of a drama. It's got some raw story to it. It's about these two guys who are conjoined twins, and they're conjoined at the hippish area, but it's more the lower back.
Right,
lower
yeah.
back.
It's definitely the lower back area. So, I mean, they can both function pretty well.
They're both really independent people, but I mean, obviously they can't leave each other's side, so I don't want to spoil the movie for anybody, but essentially one of them wants to be an actor, so they go to Hollywood.
Right, yeah, that's just a given.
So, yeah.
You can imagine that. And then the other one has stage fright, so it's
it's
how do you cope with that, right? Yeah, it was okay. I would probably watch the rest of it, given the mood.
Yeah, he just wasn't in the mood for a drama.
Yeah, for sure.
We wanted to watch something funny, so we ended up watching Hot Rod. Which, surprisingly enough, is my type of movie that I've never seen.
Yeah, that was solid. I'd seen bits and pieces from it, whatnot, but yeah, I never seen the full on.
Pretty much, that's been our day so far, and a little bit of introduction about ourselves. We'll probably just make some random comments. I'm waking up a little bit now. Originally I was falling asleep, but
gotta get that first episode in.
Yeah, I literally woke up Mike to get. He was laying in bed. I was
Mike, here we
gotta do this, bro. Come on.
The thing is, you suffer from insomnia.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I'm not extreme insomnia because usually by about 2 a.m. I can fall asleep.
Right. Yeah.
But when it comes to just about any other time of day, so let's say I wake up at 5 a.m. for something, I gotta fly on an airplane or something.
Right.
I can't physically sleep in any position that's not laying down. So riding in a car, flying in a plane, I can't fall asleep. So if I wake up at 5 in the morning to go fly in an airplane, I'm going to be up that whole plane ride. So when I get home, I'm going to be tired, but I can't fall asleep
Can't sleep.
until the earliest is midnight. Like I usually cannot fall asleep until at least after midnight. And when I haven't woken up at 5 o'clock in the morning, it's probably going to be like 1:30 or 2 when I actually do get to sleep.
Right.
And so
right.
I don't know if I'd call that like insomnia or partial insomnia. Like it's not like I can't ever go to sleep. It's just that
You
it
just
takes a long
can't
time.
choose
Yeah.
when to
Yeah.
like actually sleep.
My own circadian rhythm is done. It's like you're gonna go to sleep at 2. You know, that's when you're gonna sleep, and it makes it hard to wake up in the mornings. You know,
Right.
so
right.
my natural sleep schedule is like here you can go to sleep at 2, and then you can wake up at 11. You know, like
right.
2 to 11. That's
Oh,
perfect.
God.
But am I ever gonna find a career that's like, yeah, you can get up at 11 and then work until
Right.
So
right.
I got to work on that. Waking up earlier in the morning. I currently work at 10, so it works out pretty well.
Yeah.
But that's an on-campus job.
Yeah. The funny thing is that like I used to be a morning person, especially like growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Not only like as a kid, but even just like as a teenager, and even like going through high school, I was able to like wake up at 6, and I'd totally be fine. And so it wasn't until like I actually got into college that then I was like, oh man, I feel like my whole entire just like circadian rhythm's thrown off to the point that like I'm just a night person naturally now. I think most college students are, because it's like who honestly could get up for an 8 a.m. or who would want to, right?
Let's
So
just
it's
talk
like-
about 8 a.m. for a second. Like, why?
Why?
Why is that even a thing? Like, there may be some. There's got to be like 5 people on campus that are morning people enough to wake up for an 8 a.m. Like,
Yeah, like that. There is a select few.
There's a few people that can do
actually
it.
Right.
But especially for the science courses, why are colleges scheduling a science course at 8 in the morning?
Right.
No matter who you are, unless you're drinking a bunch of coffee, you're not going to be like, ooh, yeah, let me go do some math, you know? Like, no.
Well, I know.
I'm waking up and I'm looking at this math textbook like, you got to be kidding me.
Right.
I don't even know what my name is right now. Why?
I can't even. I can't. What happened last night? Right. Oh my gosh.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I mean, I know they have evening classes, but like, why don't they just push some of those later? Now, I mean, I get it, especially for
I mean, they are trying to cram
right,
a
especially
lot of classes into
Right.
a short amount.
and I mean, you got professors that commute, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, you got to take that into like some type of consideration when driving back.
Yeah, I don't. CMU offers its University Physics 1 class,
Okay.
which obviously for those of you who don't go to CMU, it's the calculus-based physics class
Okay.
on campus that all the engineers have to take.
Which, by the way, Jameis's major is engineering.
I'm an electrical engineering major.
Yeah.
I'm in my 3rd year of 6 because I got 3 years left. Mike started like a year after me or 2 years after me. He's going to graduate.
Yeah, probably.
Way before me. Yeah, back to the physics class. So they only offer this class once every semester, and they only offer it at 9 a.m. every single semester. And it's not an easy class. It's very math-intensive physics class
Right.
that nobody wants to wake up and do a bunch of math at 8 in the morning. You know,
Yeah,
it's at 9 in the
who would?
morning. The class is at 9,
Okay.
but the final exam, when you take a class at 9, is usually 8 a.m. That's when you're taking your final exam for a 9 a.m. class.
Yeah, you better hope you can rest well the night before.
Yeah.
But I mean, in your case, you can't exactly.
Yeah, no, I
So it's like-
can't go to sleep very easily. And
Dang.
on top of that, I have pretty severe sleep apnea. So when I do
Crazy.
get to sleep, I don't get good sleep. So quality of my sleep is low, and the amount of time I get to sleep is low. So thankfully, this semester I got the good schedule, and I don't have class till 2 in the afternoon. So
Yeah, you got to work out this. Well, and now you can do multi-semester registration.
yeah, no, I saw that.
That's
really
nice.
Yeah. So I talked to financial aid today,
Yeah.
and I'm working out. I'm going to take out another loan to take Calculus 2 class.
Okay.
I'm taking it online this semester, and over the summer it's like a long-term class.
Oh, dang. Okay.
So then I'm taking that class, and then over the summer I'm also going to take the physics class that they only offer at 9 a.m. I'm going to take that at mid.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
The last class I had at mid was English, and I had to write a 23-page paper.
Yeah, but
It was rough.
the English class at mid is known for being worse than the English
Yeah,
class at
that
senior.
is true.
Whereas
It's cheaper
yeah,
though.
whereas the physics class, I was never worried about the material of physics, just
Okay.
the time. Like
Oh, gotcha.
the material, I would do perfectly. It's whatever. I was able to do my homework. It's just I failed all the tests because I couldn't ever think
You
in
could
the
just
morning.
yeah.
My brain just wasn't working in the mornings. So
Yeah, maybe you could take night classes. That'd be interesting.
I would love. That's what I'm doing right now.
Right, yeah.
I have class 2 to 6:15 Monday and Wednesday.
Yeah. I wish they would offer more classes at night too.
Yeah.
Although I think that Central is thinking that like, okay, if you don't need it from that like 6 to,
I wish
9ish.
they added like more options because they offer all of these. Take Calculus 1 in entry level math class, right?
Okay, yeah.
They have 4 sections.
Mhm.
They've got an 8 a.m. section every semester for those crazy people that want to take it at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
They've got a 10 a.m.
Props
section
to you
every
guys.
semester. They've got a noons class every semester, but they don't have a late one for the people that actually want to have. Like,
Right. Well, I mean,
the noon one is the that's the one I took when I took Calc 1.
right, but I think at that point it's just because they're like, just take it online at that point. Go at your own pace. Right?
Taking a math
So-
class online is not.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
Taking any class online is
Yeah.
not the same, especially because the online classes here are accelerated.
Yeah. So the
Some
one
more than
I'm
others,
taking
some more.
online is Calculus 2,
Okay.
but like I said, it's a do it at your own pace curriculum. So I have 9 months to complete this class. Well, I mean, it's not going to take 9 months. That's just how long I have to do it.
Yeah.
I can finish it in
I
as
see.
little as
Okay.
3.
Gotcha. Oh, dang. So it's up to you.
It's
Oh,
up to
that's
me, and
nice.
they just basically give me all of the stuff that I have to do.
Yeah. I took a financial course. It was online, and it was like that. But it was like, okay, you have access to this for like a year,
Mm-hmm.
and then after that, it's gone. But like, I was in high school, and I was ignorant, and I was like, no, like, I don't care. I'll worry about like money in college right now. Right now, I'm like living under my parents' roof. They're providing everything. I'm fine. Well, now I'm dealing with it in college, right?
Yeah.
And so now I'm
The
taking
most important class I ever took in high school was my personal finance class. And I'm so lucky that I went to a school that actually offered that as an elective class.
Well, mine did too. I was in that, and then I like dropped it, and I was like, nah, I don't need this. I'll just take like an add on like another math class or something.
Well, so one of the most important things I ever learned in that class is about like credit. And if anybody who knows me I'm like a stickler about my credit. And we went through H&R Block's Live Life for a Month or something like that.
Interesting, yeah.
But like it was like a month where every day was a week in your life or something like that.
Okay.
And you had to keep up on the bills and the credit card payments and like
The whole shebang.
Random stuff would happen. Like you got into a car accident, your car's broken, and you got to pay for that. And
Right.
it was just like random stuff would happen, and you'd be like, "Oh no,
Oh no.
And so
Interesting.
it actually was like a legit thing that schools across the country did. The person who did the best as far as the score wise goes in the country, not on my school, but in the country, got a scholarship from H&R Block
Holy crap.
to college. Yeah,
Holy
it
moly.
wasn't like a full ride scholarship. It was like $2,000 something like that. But
Gotcha.
still, like
So did you get one?
I did not do
Gotcha.
amazing. I did pretty good for my class,
Dude.
but I
Do you remember junior achievement? Did you guys ever do that in like elementary school, like young grade school, whatnot?
no. I don't remember anything called junior achievement. We had
Or
like,
something similar, where you're learning
what is
about
it?
like, okay, so it's basically like you're learning about business and whatnot, but as if you're explaining it to a 5-year-old, basically. And then we had like micro dollars. What we could do is we would earn, micro dollars at like our stores, and we would open up our mini businesses. Me and my friend, back in the days, we opened up an ice cream business, and it was legit. We got enough income to start us off to get some ice cream, and then we sold it to all these kids, not just in our class, but in all the other classes. And then they'd give us money, and then we just racked up this business.
Wow.
Dude, it was great. I mean, it wasn't real money.
Yeah, no,
but it was
obviously,
like
but
it was like the micro money. And then at the end of the year, we had one massive sale where just like everyone opened up their store all at the same time, because we each got different like times.
So it's kind of like a kitty
in the
farmer's
day.
market almost.
Yeah,
like,
literally, like basically.
Yeah.
And then at one time you could buy whatever you wanted from any store because they were all open. It was basically like we didn't have school that day. We just ran our all
business.
All these like fourth graders
just
running
quit
around,
and become an entrepreneur.
Right? Yeah. Some dudes, you know, from ice cream all the way to like stickers or like handmade bean bags or hacky sacks. That's what I meant. Yeah. It was interesting. Wow. It was really cool.
Yeah, no, we didn't have anything like that.
Maybe that's why my minor's marketing. And I really enjoy selling stuff.
Yeah.
I almost sold my grandpa and getting a whole new phone plan over break. I was like telling him all the info on it, and I don't work for like a carrier or anything. Yeah. And he's like, "Ma'am, I just might do this."
It makes me. It's kind of weird because my major is. Like, there's a stereotype of engineers, you know.
Okay.
Like,
oh, yeah.
Obviously,
there definitely is.
Antisocial.
Especially for different types of engineers.
Yeah. And it's actually not like that. Like, most engineers are pretty social, to be honest.
Right.
Because you kind of have to be, you know. In the degree of engineering, once you get into the field, you're working in teams of people. You're going to have to talk to people all the time, give presentations on everything. And you're gonna have to know how to be sociable, and so it's kind of a weird stereotype for engineers to be antisocial when there's such a big social aspect in the career itself.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you have to be good at math. You can't get through an engineering degree without being good at math. Yeah. But you can be good at math and be sociable. In engineering, to get a job, that's what, because of the stereotype, companies. They're looking for people who are sociable. In the degree of engineering, to have a 4.08 GPA actually looks bad because it shows that you have studious, but it doesn't show that you can be sociable.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
See, so like the thing is that
I mean, it doesn't like not like terrible, right? As long as you can prove you're sociable.
But you have to be good at your job because your job could literally be the difference between life and death.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to like math and whatnot.
Yeah.
Whether it's designing, you know, rockets or if it's just designing
a light bulb.
Yeah, a light bulb. Even
the light bulb explodes on somebody, it's
you're gone.
You can kill somebody.
Or start a house fire or something, and you know that's on your company. Yeah. That would make sense. I mean, you could say the same about like healthcare and whatnot too.
Definitely.
Right?
That's definitely Life and Jeff as well. Not Life and Jeff. Life and Death.
Life and Jeff. Sounds.
Jeff.
Oh man. Oh.
Have you seen that one?
Yep.
I'm assuming it's a newer one. Yeah.
Yep.
So that was 22 Jump Street. I thought.
Yeah, I don't know what one that's
from. 22.
Okay.
Channing
Tatum.
Channing
Tatum.
Channing
Tatum.
Can't even say this man's name.
Oh no, it's too late.
If you're listening to this, Channing Tatum, we're sorry.
Right.
But I'd be amazed.
I would be.
Give us a call.
I'd be shocked. We should probably explain why our show's actually called Mojo and the Bro, at least for the people that are listening.
Don't know us, yeah.
That do know us, though.
Oh, yeah, too. They probably don't.
Because they'll be like, just what on earth? I mean, for all, you know, these other people that don't know us.
Care.
Right, but like for all these other people, they're just like, so is their name Mojo? Who's their bro? We live in a house with 4 guys. One of them left, go
take a semester off.
Yeah, take a semester off.
Jimmy John's.
Yep. And then the other one, so his name's Noah. So sometimes we'll call him No Bro. Other times we'll call him Larry. I'll save that for Larry? Like in a few minutes. So sometimes we'll call him No Bro. And then Jameis and I just had the idea. We're like, okay, so if he's No, what if I'm Mo and you're Joe? Because I'm Mike. He's Jameis, right? So we're just Mo, Joe,
and No.
Instead of No,
but
we'll just call him the Bro. So
it's Mojo and the Bro.
Oh, Joe and the Bro.
Okay, so back to Mike's bombshell there.
Why we call Noah Larry?
Because we're dumb.
Yeah.
So many
short movie references in every single joke that we have. Or every inside joke.
Me and Mike, I guess more me, told Mike about this movie. It's called Death at a Funeral. Now, if you know about this movie, then you probably don't want to listen to us talk about it. But there's two of them actually. There's, I believe, the original one, which is British. And I don't know if
I do not recommend.
I'd not recommend it either.
No.
I don't know if you know anything about British humor, but it does not translate to American humor.
Right. It's like trying to watch the British Office. And mind you, the British one came out first.
Yeah.
And then, the American version.
Although Ricky Gervais.
Oh, yeah.
Ricky Gervais is amazing.
He is honestly amazing. He's such a great comedian.
But
everything
else about that
role.
show.
Yeah. Right, yeah, honestly. So
but back to our story. There's two versions of Death at a Funeral. There's the British one, which is awful. And then there's the American one that basically they took the British one and were like, we can do that way better. And it's the exact same movie, but all of the jokes are timed better, it seems like.
Yeah.
And they just fit. Well,
I mean, they nailed it.
Without trying to explain or spoil the movie for anybody, because we're not about that life in here. They didn't know a guy's name and he was unconscious. They're like, well, shout his name. They're like, well, we don't know his name. And he's like, well, just call him Larry.
Yeah.
And then the other guy's like, hey, yo, Larry.
Hey, yo, Larry. And they're just trying to wake him up. Yeah. And so one day we just started calling Noah Larry. It literally makes no sense.
But to us,
it definitely makes sense. What you looking for?
My water bottle. I don't know what I did with my water.
I don't know, man. Gotta have your water beforehand.
Yeah, I know, man.
Your old pitcher. That's the other thing. So this man is so picky about his water. This dude, shit. The most purified water in the country is in our fridge.
Hey, I'm a water snob. I grew up on really filtered water. My mom is probably more of a water snob than I am, and so I was raised by a single mother. That's all the water I ever had, and I can taste the difference between regular water, like purified water, and tap water.
Yeah, I can taste metals in water, right?
Yeah.
Or like sulfur or whatnot. I guess I've been drinking the city water here for a while now. I was raised here, right? But I'm thoroughly convinced that we have the most purified water in all of America in our fridge right now.
Well, and he likes to point it out too to everybody who comes.
It's hilarious. I'm like, oh my! It's great. It tastes great. It doesn't taste anything too special, at least to me. It's just nice and cold. We got like 2 pitchers in the fridge.
I'm about ready to just buy you a regular pitcher. Be like, this is Mike's pitcher.
Yeah,
this is my good water.
Yeah, but
he's wasting my good water with his taste buds.
No. Because I'm filling it up in the morning, whatnot.
All right. Well, you can keep drinking my water then. Unpopular opinion: toaster tarts are better than Pop Tarts.
What?
Yes, Pop Tarts, they're skimping. All right, toaster tarts, they solid.
What about like toasted strudels?
Toaster strudels? I don't know. I've always been indifferent to toaster strudels.
Why?
What
flavors have you had? That's the question.
I don't know. I didn't grow up on toaster strudels, so I don't know.
Dude, I grew up on toaster strudels. And Captain Crunch. That was basically my diet.
Was it oops, more crunch berries? Captain Crunch?
Oh yeah. Oops, more crunch. Dude, yeah, they're just gonna keep on coming out with new flavors of Captain Crunch.
I until I watched that comedian, I didn't even know there were multiple.
What was his name?
I don't know his name, but he's the guy on Letterkenny.
Right.
The bigger guy.
The big guy.
Yeah.
Letterkenny. Gosh, that was a funny stand-up.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance to watch him, he's hilarious. Also, the show Letterkenny, great show.
For sure. I know recently I've just been having like straight up toast and butter for breakfast.
Have you ever had that cinnamon butter? Cinnamon toast?
Oh yeah.
You toast it, you put butter, and you
raisin? Like the cinnamon raisin?
No, not cinnamon raisin, just cinnamon toast.
Oh.
Just like toast it, put some butter on it, and then cinnamon.
Oh, okay. So
I don't know.
Well-
My grandma did a lot better than I ever did because I don't remember it exactly.
Gotcha.
But my grandma always made this like cinnamon toast for us. It was amazing. And then I tried to make it, and it was all right, but it wasn't anything like I remember when I was a kid eating
Interesting.
cinnamon toast.
Yeah, I've done something similar in which we would toast, the bread, and then we'd put peanut butter on it. And then my mom, she had a container of like the perfect ratio between cinnamon and sugar, and then she'd like sprinkle some of that on the toast,
Mm-hmm.
and it tasted great. Or sometimes, I mean, you could do it with butter too,
Mm-hmm.
but not jam. You couldn't do that with jam.
Mm.
But sometimes I would have that when I woke up like really early at my great aunt and uncle's house, and they live like right on the beachfront, and then their living room just leads into this massive open window that overlooks Lake Michigan,
Oh,
closer to the Grand Traverse Bay.
okay.
My aunt would make us toast, and then we would end up going sometimes outside on the porch and then just overlooking the beach like at 6 a.m. Yeah, those were good times. But now I'm like, ew, 6 a.m. Like
No.
I could never.
Yeah, no. 6 a.m. is too early. I have fond memories of family members' houses. I want to say it's my great aunt. It's my grandma's sister. I think.
Okay.
So it'll be my great aunt. She used to have a house up in Gaylord. Beautiful house. I don't know if it's a dream or if
What?
it was, like I don't. I was so young when they owned the house.
Oh,
It feels like it was a dream, and it feels like it was like wait, like there's no way they owned that house because it was like from what I remember of it, it was like a modern day glass all around with the garage down underneath the house.
okay.
That type style,
Right.
and then like it's just like a dream of a house almost. There's no way now they live in Florida, so maybe they did, but
Maybe they did,
I don't know. No.
Yeah, I my grandpa, he still owns a cabin, and so that's up in like the Gladwin area,
Mhm.
right by Lake McGilvery. So it's more north of central Michigan. I mean, he's had that cabin for a while. I think I want to say it was 2 years ago, maybe even last year. There was a massive storm,
Mhm.
and it straight up just toppled this humongous willow tree.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so he's got his house, his cabin on one end of his property, his like garage slash like shed on the other, and then the tree somehow managed. I mean, it almost crashed on the shed,
Mhm.
but I mean, at that point, it's up to nature,
Yeah.
and it's straight like by
So,
the
right in
grace
the
of God,
middle?
just not even directly in the middle, just like barely offset from the shed, which is crazy.
So do you ever just have those memories that's like kind of like the house I was explaining where it's like
Mhm.
it's a memory but it feels like it can't have been real, like it's
I
ingrained
mean, I probably
into you,
do.
like,
I can't think of any right now.
well, like I specifically have a memory that I know
I
is
got one.
true. It was, I want to say I had to have been 7,
Okay.
and we lived in South Lyon, Michigan, and it was a time my mom was going to Madonna University at the time.
Interesting.
And there was a huge storm that had knocked down a bunch of trees and power lines, and the power went out on multiple places.
Okay.
And at the time, my great grandparents, I want to say, they lived on the other side of town. I want to say it was like a mile or 2 away. And so me and my mom decided the storm just went through. They had a pretty decent sized property, and they had a bunch of debris falling from trees and stuff on their property.
Okay.
So my mom thought, all right, let's ride our bikes over there and let's go help them pick up their property.
Right.
That isn't really much to do with the memory, but I do remember this time we were coming off of a gravel bike path onto a paved street.
Okay.
And I remember turning that corner and just kind of drifting the bike through the gravel path and just sliding onto the pavement, and then just kept riding. And I don't know, it was just so awesome in my mind that I remember it.
Wow.
And it wasn't skill, it was an accident.
Right. Yeah.
I vividly remember that, and I don't know why, but it kind of feels like a dream.
Yeah. I have some interesting childhood stories. Like one of them being when I was really young. I remember back when my grandparents were together, they had a house and it had a piano in it. And so my family, we just called it the piano house because that's where.
I mean, that's little kids' minds.
Right,
work,
right. And plus, I would play that piano when I was a really little kid.
You know George Lucas' grandpa, right?
Oh, yeah,
So,
yeah. Which, by the way, Jameis has a grandpa who looks so much like George Lucas.
This was Mike's observation, and it's a funny story in and of itself. I'll get back to that in a minute. So George Lucas' grandpa, when I was a kid, so my grandparents were divorced. Okay. So my mom has a stepmom and a stepdad.
Right.
So I had 3 grandpas and 4 grandmas.
Okay.
Wait, no.
Oh, that's a lot.
No, 4 grandpas and 3 grandmas. So because I had 4 grandpas, I had to differentiate between grandpas, right?
Right.
Well, George Lucas' grandpa was the only grandpa I had that had a mustache. So he was grandpa with the mustache.
Grandpa with the mustache.
Grandpa with the mustache. Gotta keep it simple.
Yeah, interesting.
And then my grandma's husband, my grandpa Bernie, he was just Grandpa Bernie.
Okay.
And then Grandpa Ben, and then sometimes Grandpa Larry, but sometimes it was just Grandpa.
Grandpa Larry?
Yeah,
that's great.
That's my dad's dad, Grandpa Larry.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would always go by their last name, but just their last initial. So it's like, oh yeah, that's my Grandpa K, or my grandpa. For my dad's side, we'd go like, oh yeah, that's my Grandpa K. Mm-hmm. But then for my mom's side, we'd be like, oh yeah, that's my Grandma Wes. And that was just a nickname for my mom's maiden name. And
I mean, kids these days have gotten so much more creative about their nicknames for their grandparents. Like mine was Grandpa with the mustache, but now my little cousins, she's got Grampy, she's got Grammy, she's got Grandpa and Grandma, and then like all these
G Mama.
Yeah, yo, my G Mama now.
Yo, G Mama. How's those cookies coming?
So. I don't know. I just find that interesting. Like, I never had like those nicknames for my grandpa. It was just simple things like, oh, there's Grandpa Bernie, there's Grandpa with the mustache. So it was simple things.
That's so interesting.
And maybe there was people in our generation that probably that had similar things like that. Like
right. But yeah,
there's Mima or like stuff like that.
Yeah, but yeah, I had like a memory back at that piano house, and I remember. I think it was Christmas, and one of my cousins got like a really large foam castle, basically. And it was like probably like 10 feet tall, and it fit in the basement of this piano house. And so we set it up down there, and I remember how much fun we had just like playing around in that. But then at one point, now this was when like I had an MP3 player. So before I even had my iPod, and I had a High School Musical on, like I had the specific song. It was Bet on It from High School Musical 2 on my MP3 player looped. And that was when I figured out that, oh my gosh, you can loop songs on this thing. And it just would go on loop for hours while we just played this like lifelike castle. It's crazy. It's really, yeah. So that feels like dreamlike to me.
Wow.
Yeah. But then I got this other story. So my mom has a friend from Alpena, and she it's funny because she took me, my brother, and then my best friend and my brother's best friend, like at the time, like during our childhood and whatnot. She took us to her parents' cabin, each of her like parents' cabins on both sides, and then she also took us like to her house eventually too. So she takes us to, her mom and dad's house, and it's like out in the woods, out in the middle of nowhere. And I hate porta potties. I still hate porta potties. And we were there for 3 days without pooping
Yeah.
3 straight days. And dude, let me tell you,
You were about to explode
when
when
we
you got
went,
home. Yeah.
dude, my stomach hurt so bad. And like, they're like, oh, you should eat breakfast. And I'm like, no,
I gotta go to the bathroom.
can't eat anything
Yeah.
anymore. And I felt so sick. And at one point, I was just like laying down, trying to fall asleep to get rid of the pain. But then my friends and then my brother, they all like biked on a gas station or something like that and got some like candy bars. And I was like, man, if I would have just gone poop, I could have gotten a candy bar.
Life lessons to live by.
Yeah, right. So,
potty training at its finest.
Right, I was like,
if I could have gone poop, I got a candy bar, man. Come on.
Well, poop in the right spot, right?
Yeah.
That's the right. So I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. Well, anyways, it was the last day. We finally made it back to her, normal house. And then, dude, that was quite the blowout, to say the least. I had like blood on the, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is awful. Yeah.
All right. So, we promised you earlier. I'm gonna tell you the story about George Lucas' grandpa and how Mike discovered him.
That's right.
So, just out of the blue, me and Mike and a bunch of our other friends are in this group chat on Snapchat, and Mike pops into this chat, takes a picture of this guy in the middle of a restaurant.
Yeah.
And says, "Man, this dude in Mount Pleasant looks a lot like George Lucas."
And I was like, "Holy moly!"
I just pop into this chat, and this is at a place my grandpa really likes to go eat at.
Right? Yeah, it's like a barbecue place.
And so I pop in this chat. I see this picture. I'm like, "Yo, Mike, that's my grandpa."
And I was like, "Dude, are you kidding?"
I'm like, "No, that's my grandpa, man."
Like, of all the people, I mean, Mount Pleasant isn't that big, but it's like there is no way.
It was my grandpa and my entire family.
I didn't even know that your family like lived here, or that part of your family lived here, because the other part, live in Texas. But I was like,
Texas Gaylord.
Right? Yeah. So I was like, what on earth? Yeah, that's when I realized. I was like, oh, maybe Jameis is a townie. Kind of. You're like a half townie.
Yeah, I'm a hybrid.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I tell everybody. I'm a hybrid. That's.
But the question is, like, what do you consider your hometown?
That's hard because I don't even know. Like,
where have you lived the longest?
Austin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you consider Austin your?
I mean, that's where my mom is, so it'd have to be,
Yeah, probably.
Like when I say I'm going home to
That's
Austin.
home.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So
is home like just where you would normally live, or like your hometown, wherever you would normally live?
Home to me is multiple places. Like, this is home. Like our house is home.
Right. But hometown, I'm saying.
Hometown, it would have to be Austin because, like, I was born in Gaylord. It's a little rinky-dink town. I mean,
right, yeah.
It's so much drama. When I go up there, it's like,
the family.
Yeah, we gotta deal with more drama.
Dude, I think of, like, when I think of Gaylord, I straight up, or just, like, more northern Michigan cities that are, like, near central Michigan-ish. I think of Red Dead, or like that house you get to in Red Dead.
Just in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, where it's literally that mansion in the middle of nowhere. It's like, it's that one wealthy family out of this whole entire city, and they're just racking up.
So my grandma does live in the middle of nowhere. Like, she lives 15 minutes outside of Gaylord.
Yeah, she could go off the grid.
Yeah, she could.
Straight up.
Her nearest neighbor is like a mile away.
Yeah. Yeah.
She has like 24 acres up there. And
dang. Yeah. My dad.
It's mostly forest, but
okay. So my dad has always wanted to, go down and like live in a bunker basically, or like a real small wood cabin, maybe like Canada, and literally like wild Canada. Like, he's like, I want to build this bunker or like cabin, and then I can go off the grid, if anything happens, to America or anything. And then I can just go there. I can flee there. That's
I mean, she's
safe
like,
place. I'm
if
like,
she
dang.
wanted to become a survivalist bunker person, she could
could do
easily
it.
get a bunker put on that property. I mean, bunkers are cheap though, so
Oh yeah, I wonder how much they run for. It'd be interesting.
I feel like it's got to be like at least $50,000 for a bunker,
Yeah,
like a house almost.
yeah, maybe.
It probably even more than that, I mean, I'm not a bunker expert. Maybe we can look it up real quick. But let's see.
Yeah, I would range. I would probably estimate a range for like in the 20,000s or 30,000s, maybe. Definitely
I
nothing.
feel like we're lower here.
Okay, I'm thinking of like a
Live bunker prices.
Oh, here we go.
538.50. What is the range of this?
I'm thinking like a nice deep underground. It's like an underground home basically, like a whole tunneling system, everything. Not like a tiny little bomb shelter, but yeah, I honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't have any clue.
Oh,
Find
that's
anything?
bunker ports. That's not.
Okay.
This is another thing.
Yeah.
I don't
Man,
know. Well, we'll just have to
that'd be
figure it out
interesting.
later. Yeah, no. Apparently, I'm not good at googling what the price of a bunker is. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not something you just find on eBay. It's just like
Here's a bunker. Take it.
Facebook Market. You're just like, hey, selling this bunker for about $5,000. Anyone want to just
Family doesn't need it anymore.
Yeah, family doesn't need it anymore. We're moving. You can keep the property too if you want. Whatever. It's just this bunker. You just get this bunker. You don't even get to move into the house. You get the rest of the property though.
My uncle, he has a bomb shelter on his property.
Oh my god!
Like he didn't put it there. It was
there.
It was there when he
From
bought
the
the
war.
house.
Oh wow!
And it was all like flooded and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's not,
So it's post 50s. That's cool. Wow.
And
That's old.
He just bought it. I think he did suck all the water out of it and put like a lid on it, but so that it didn't get any more water in it.
Right.
I think he was planning to do something with it, not like emergency bomb shelter like it was designed to do, but like a man cave or something.
Interesting.
But
Dude, like what if you had like okay, so Central Michigan is just like surrounded by farms, basically.
Yeah.
What if like there's some secret passage in like a cornfield or something, and it's like John Wick style, you gotta dig your way into the this like little bunker bomb shelter area, and underneath there is just some like wicked cool like futuristic gadgets. It's like Wakanda type things, and you're just like, where is this been? How does the government not know? Like, it sounds like a cool movie.
you gotta dig deep enough.
Yeah, right. You find all these like pirate coins and whatnot, all these bitcoins and stuff. Yeah, you're pretty crazy. Well, yeah, I think that wraps up end of our podcast. So, yeah, that's the end of episode 1. Tune in for more. Cool. Catch you later.